I'm Natalie.
And I'm Hannah. Welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, we're discussing the 2025 Halloween Half Marathon weekend. It feels so right to already be chatting about the first event guide of the season. Join us as we break down everything from yoga to the expo to the races themselves and all those magical details in between. So lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us. Funny sound bites of us like zhuzhing.
Gotta zhuzh the hair, man.
I still look ridiculous. Oh, what can you do? What can you do after a long day?
Exactly.
The care is reflecting the chaos today.
Exactly. But hey, runDisney works hard, but the Stride Sisters work harder.
Yes, we do. For the first time ever, we're bringing them an event guide for Disneyland.
Oh yeah, we've never done a dedicated episode for Disneyland
No.
event guide. We've included it, but wow.
We've done like a brief, like, oh, by the way, it came out, or like, here's a few hot takes, or like, here's a little nugget of information. But we've only done full event guide episodes for the East Coast.
Yeah. I'd say we're setting a precedent or something, but it's not like we're gonna have these next year. So, oh no, no, that's sad.
Well, we'll be prepared for when they come back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, how did your training go this week?
It went pretty well.
Okay.
I had a 14 for my long run, and it was a lovely, lovely 60s run. The whole air quality thing with the fires in Canada, not great, but we survived and advanced. I had a good speed workout as well, had a pretty good lift. So really, all in all, things are going pretty good. I had my first 100-mile month of 2025, and that's gross.
Wow.
Yeah, I did a hundo in July, which makes me fear for what comes, this month. But I wasn't really expecting to have a hundo, but here we are. And yeah, I actually haven't even had a hundo since November of 24 was my last.
I was trying to think about that. I'm not even sure when I did Dopey last year if I cleared the 100 mark or not, just from like life and stuff. I know I got really close. I know I had months that were definitely projected there. I'll have to go through the stats. I don't know.
The spreadsheet has told me. Because I think December would have been a hundo if I hadn't gotten COVID. So I missed obviously a couple of runs at the end there while I was, comatose on my couch.
We're so good at being sick.
We are. How about you?
It was not a great week. Definitely not as successful as last week, but there's ups and downs. Honestly, I'd be lying if I said I expected to just like have one good week and then it all magically fall into place and suddenly be great again. Just a rough week for personal reasons and for my job and stuff. So it didn't all come together last week. I did do a workout today at the office behind my desk, like the pro that I am. Just kidding. But a little something is better than nothing. And
hey, that's
we're
making
just gonna
it work.
keep trying.
That's making it work with the time you have.
We're just gonna keep trying. And yeah. I'm starting a new routine. I'm trying to wake up earlier. I try and do some stuff in the morning. It is much easier to get it done if I get it done before life can knock me off the horse. So, wish me luck, guys. I used to be very successful at waking up early. I was on the swim team in high school, had to wake up at like 4 something for 5:15 a.m. practice. Rude. What high schooler wants to wake up that early? No one. And then post college, I worked in a paper mill and I had to be there for a 6:30 a.m. meeting. Who thought that was a good idea? And I lived an hour away. So I would wake up at 4:30. And I've been telling myself I paid my dues. I don't need to wake up early anymore. I can enjoy. No. No, of course I picked a hobby that requires a lot of dedication and therefore requires a little bit of sacrifice. And I think this is going to be the most manageable way to do it. So everyone keep their fingers crossed. Mom, say your prayers. Um, thanks. Yeah. I think we have like an informal blister brigade submission this week, right?
Yes. Our friend Jamie has a blister and she had to return her shoes over it, but we didn't really get a lot more clarification on a personality of
Mhm.
sorts. So we're going to call him Waldo because where's Waldo? And we don't have any information.
So, Jamie, if you provide more information, we can give more clarification on what kind of Waldo
True.
he or she is or they at this point.
We don't know.
Maybe do they have a color preference towards their hat? Something like that. Um but yeah, I like Where's Waldo. I think that's great.
I did not think about that beforehand either. It just kind of came into my head.
We love it. We love it. All right, guys, we are in the final stretch for our first race countdown. We are 30 days away from Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon Weekend 2025. Natalie, is there anything you would like to share with the class?
Well, so yesterday, by the time you're hearing this, the Discord, the Telegram, they were just popping off. And I had been in the hunt for a bib for Halloween Half Marathon Weekend. And I was, you know, should I do the charity route? Should I not do the charity route? I was asking a couple charities, just, when is your deadline? Because, like, if I have to raise this money by like tomorrow, that's a no go. But, like, if I have some time, it's a maybe. And I got a half marathon bib. So I will be getting a coast to coast medal.
Woo!
I was about as surprised as y'all are that it actually went
No,
through.
I think you're more surprised than everyone listening.
That is true. Because I had a couple, and I knew I was kind of delaying myself, and I was probably I knew I was my own worst enemy with it because I was putting in my proof of time. And I, I had it down pat, man. Like, I was just how quickly I was typing everything in, like Princess Half Marathon 2024 maiden name Boyle, like all my details. And I would whiff on the challenge. I whiffed on the challenge, and then I just kind of sit there on the screen where it's like, sorry, this event has sold out, like has reached its max number of participants. And I just sat there and refreshed periodically. And then I got it before the Discord notification was going out. And that's when I got into the half. So basically, I was sitting there kind of just like hunting my prey.
Stalking, waiting.
Just waiting. Because I figured, if anything, it's just okay. My phone's open. I'm just like refreshing and like whatever. Like if it might not work out for anything, but it might. So I am super excited. Kind of can't believe it. I was kind of like, should I have held out for the challenge? Okay, no, because I whiffed. I kept whiffing on the challenge anyway.
Mhm.
And I also think that part of my reason of like, I'm not going to do Disneyland for a minute because I want to enjoy the parks more when I go. I'm going to be able to do that if I only have one week up. And I'll
Mhm.
probably be a little bit more feral uh, than normal. So T's and P's if you find me just rolling around Anaheim. But I want to do some of the more night or the nighttime events. I want to try to. I think everything would have to go right for me to get from like World of Color to Paint the Night and Phantasmic in one night. Like I remember even that being kind of a struggle back in like 2019, the last time I tried to do something like that. But I want to be able to have that opportunity to do more nighttime Disneyland stuff. So I'm excited. I didn't think I was going to get out for the 70th at all. So I'm excited for that. Ah,
Yay!
and that beautiful coast to coast medal.
I know, so jealous.
Oh,
Well, if you are training for the half marathon weekend and you're not Natalie, also training for the Chicago Marathon, your training is 30 minutes on Tuesday and Thursday if you're not in the challenge, and 30 to 45 minutes for the challenge. Pick your poison. For the 5K, you have a 3-miler this weekend. 10K is 5 3/4 miles. Interesting. And then we've got a 12.5 for both the beginner half and experienced half plans. And then for the challenge, you've got a back to back with a 4-mile walk on Saturday and a 12.5 mile run walk, whatever you do on Sunday. We have 79 days until Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend 2025. If you are training for anything but the challenge, again, that's a 30-minute for Tuesday and Thursday. If you are in the challenge, that's 30 to 45 minutes on Tuesday, Thursday. 5K, still nada. 10K, 40 minutes. Beginner, experienced, and challenge are all 3 miles for your long run this weekend. Enjoy. We have 155 days until Marathon Weekend 2026. You've got 30 minutes for the marathon on Tuesday, Thursday, 30 to 45 minutes for Goofy, and 45 minutes for Dopey. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong last week. Please forgive me. For your long runs, for the beginner and experienced marathon, as well as Goofy and Dopey, you all have 7 miles. I almost said 70 because I was thinking about the 70th. I promise you don't have 70 miles. You have 7 miles this weekend. We have 177 days until Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend 2026. We have 205 days until Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2026. Your proof of time deadline is September 1st, 2025. The day I'm allowed to put Halloween decorations out.
woo.
We have 254 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend 2026 with a shirt deadline of September 22nd, 2025 and proof of time January 5th, 2026. Let's hear that Disney news, Natalie.
Real quick before we do that, how did Springtime Surprise registration go?
Oh, fair. We haven't talked about that, have we?
Nope.
I didn't register, so
Neither did I.
very very chill for me. Although from what we heard from the rest of the group, and our other Run Disney girlies and friends, it seems like it was pretty smooth.
Yep.
I know a variety of people had good or bad success, but it did sound like most people were able to get what they wanted. Only the 5K and the 10K sold out in relatively quick succession.
Mm-hmm.
The 10-miler and challenge lasted a bit longer, as well as I'm pretty sure yoga still hasn't sold out.
Same with
Which,
the
I
10
mean,
miler.
same with the 10-miler. I thought I had been seeing it go in and out, but maybe look, we got so many notifications, I can't keep it straight.
True. The challenge went about a day later, and
Okay.
the challenge has gone and come back. The 10K has also gone and come back. So, yeah, I now, okay, so like 2 times in a row we have this little precedent we're setting here of I can probably get a bib about a month out. No. No, you have to be okay with not doing the race if that's the way that you want to go. Still looking for wine and dine. But yeah, I figured that I have some other things I need to kind of get through before I
Mhm.
have some other stuff in the spring that I need to clear the deck before I decide to jump on another race weekend. But do I think I probably end up at Springtime Surprise Weekend? Yeah. Yeah.
So that whole like perfect season thing.
No. No.
We're all a bad influence.
Because that's how I end up at Dumbo too.
Mhm.
That's how I end up at Dumbo, and that's no go. That's a no go. Um, well, also like the wine and dine 5K that I'm like probably not gonna, because at this
Yeah.
point I'm gonna take. I really would like the challenge for wine and dine, but I'll take what I can get. And if it's the half standalone, it's the half standalone. Do
Mhm.
you know that this is going to be the first time I'm doing a standalone race at a Run Disney weekend since my first one?
Wow. Wow, what an experience that will be.
Narrator, she somehow finds a challenge bib. But yeah, it'll be my first time doing one.
No, I really want it to actually stay a standalone for you because I want you to confirm for me that, like,
It's a vibe.
we get that, yeah, that it's a vibe because we get into this tizzy that of like it's all or nothing, go hard, go home, like we want to experience it all, and it can create a lot of FOMO.
Hmm.
Whether you're very happy with your decision or not, like later you can question yourself or like feel pressured in the moment to sign up for more than you're really wanting or feel ready for. And I just think it will be nice for the listeners to hear, like, yes, this is just as much a vibe.
Yeah, that's fair. The one thing that would kind of pull me toward it though would be that 10K course, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I know I can't make the 5K work, but that 10K course is perfection. Now on to Disney news. The Animal Kingdom Lodge is going under a room refurbishment that begins in October of 2025. So the split into, and if you don't know this about Animal Kingdom Lodge, there's two buildings, Kidani Village and Jumbo House. Kidani Village is going to get its refurb first, and it's October of 25 through May of 2026. Jumbo House is going to start when Kidani ends, and May 2026 through January of 2027. And this is a full renovation, so not just a refresh, or the DVC term is like soft goods, which means furniture, appliances, etc., are going to be replaced. And I'm really hoping that they get the Murphy beds, that they get the pulled down beds versus the pull out couch. I am fingers crossed that that's how they're going to do it with the hard goods refresh.
They're so much more comfortable than the pullout.
Oh,
So much more
absolutely.
comfortable.
Absolutely. That'll shoot Animal Kingdom Lodge way back up to the top of my list. Not that it was like ever not on the list, but when it's somebody who you don't want to share a bed with, like my mom and I do better, for example, when we like are in each other our own beds. Uh like like we can, but also it's like better if we are in our own beds. But it's I cannot wait. I guess I haven't seen the confirmation that it's going to happen. I would assume so based on all the other hard refreshes that we've had,
Mhm.
but that'd be excellent.
Yeah.
Boom boom.
I can basically sleep anywhere at Disney except for the kitty pull down. I will sleep there if that is the option. Don't get me wrong, and I have slept there with Natalie and her mom. So I don't want you guys to think I'm ungrateful, but I am too tall for those beds. I do not fit. I have to untuck all the sheets to be able to sort of fit on that bed.
As a sommelier of a good pull down bed here, as the middle child and the only girl of my family, of like growing up of kids. But yeah, I'm super excited. And I'm always so excited to see how the theming changes a little bit over the refurbs. So the Disney Destiny now has its Stern character installed on it. It is Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Looks cool. He's doing his Spidey things.
We should see if we could get Colin on the pod and see if he wants to talk about if there's anything he's allowed to talk about on working on Disney Cruise Line projects.
That would be very cool. Probably not, but like, maybe. Maybe meaning like what you can talk about.
Yeah.
But even I think from like the guest perspective, I think it'd be kind of cool to see somebody, because we don't have any experience with the cruise line.
Yeah. Well, the engineer in me just really wants to know all the little secrets.
Oh,
If I whenever my first Disney Cruise Line is, I'm gonna pay the exorbitant amount to go on the like tour where you get to go see the engine room and like talk to the captain and do all that jazz. I'm gonna do that.
oh my god, that's so cool. That's awesome. And then I wanted to do a little refresh on like different closing dates that are coming up for stuff because as of now, Buzz Lightyear is now closed for an extensive refurbishment
No.
to reopen in 2026, and it's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Um, I will survive. I will figure out the new good targets. I'll live. But
This will be my only chance to maybe be on par with you while you don't know where the high scores are.
true. Honestly, out at Disneyland is also a way to do it. I'm not as good at that one at Astro Blasters.
Well, maybe we got to look for a bib for me too. Probably
I
not,
was gonna say
just
say
to be
less.
clear, but
Say less. I booked my hotel and points. But the Walt Disney World Railroad, the Frontierland station, closes on August 7th. The
oh, why are they doing that on my birthday? Rude.
right, I knew you were gonna say that.
How dare they?
The railroad is going to remain open, but it's operating as a shuttle between Fantasyland Station and Main Street USA. It's not going to make the full Grand Circle tour around the Magic Kingdom while they are doing construction back there for Piston Peak.
It's better than a full shutdown, though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely better than that. So we'll live. Uh, on August 25th, Spaceship Earth is going to close for a refurbishment. The Boneyard at Animal Kingdom closes on September the 1st permanently to make way for Tropical Americas. Blizzard Beach will shut down for its seasonal refurbishment on September 7th. Lagoon will stay open. And then Animation Courtyard and Star Wars Launch Bay close on September 25th to make way for what we talked about last week.
Speaking of the Boneyard, just like looping back, have you seen the pictures? The construction pictures of how much progress they've made? The aerial views?
Of in like
For
not
tropical, where they're going to put Tropical Americas?
No, I've just seen like the monster stuff. Even though I don't want to talk about the fact that they took down the Muppets gift shop. Mm-mm.
I mean, to be fair, is a dirt lot very exciting? No, but like you can see before and after shots of like the aerial coverage. You could see where like obviously Boneyard and Dinosaur and stuff is still open, but then where Triceratops spins and all that stuff has been completely like they've gotten rid of the asphalt, everything. It's all dirt now, and you're starting to see sort of the shape of well, they
What
would
to
call it
come?
earthworks, basically,
Ooh,
like intentional piles of dirt
I put
where
a
there I
jar of
think
dirt.
yeah. So I mean, it's exciting how much how much progress they've already made.
Oh, that's so cool. Actually, I'll have to look that up
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, you can if on the Hollywood Studio side, you can see where the door coaster for Monsters is going to go, like the big, like gigantic,
Mm-hmm.
like in the park. It's still in the parking lot, and it makes me feel like just like a teensy bit better about the fact that in the last week they literally took down the Muppet gift shop.
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be the biggest ride by square footage, isn't it? Once it's built.
Wow, even
That's
within
what I read
Guardians?
somewhere.
Wow.
I think so. It's like up there. It's like on the same level. It might not be the biggest. I'll have to like double check that. Don't hold me to it, but it's supposed to be huge.
Oh, that'll be so cool though. Okay, I'll forgive you all.
Which gives me hope because like it should be a pretty decent ride, like
Oh yeah.
lengthwise too, because it's not going to be crazy fast and there's not going to be any inversions or anything to my knowledge.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's like a decent length to weight ratio.
Yeah. Oh, that will be cool once that opens. And I'm excited to see what kind of like Easter eggs for the Muppets they have back in that area.
Come at us, Disney. We got ideas.
That is so true. We do. On the Disneyland side, we have a couple different upcoming closing dates. Haunted Mansion will be closed from August 9th to 21st to put up the holiday overlay. So exciting that'll be open for Halloween half.
Yay!
Radiator Springs Racers will be closing on August 18th for refurbishment. Did not see a projected reopening date for that. And the Mark Twain Riverboat will be closing on September 8th for a refurbishment as well. believe the Incredicoaster is currently down for refurb at the moment, and it hasn't had an announcement about when it comes back up either. So guess I'll be paying a little more attention to this now that I'm going to be there. No, I try to pay attention anyway, but I think
Let's hear a fun fact.
oh yes. All right. Speaking of site work and such, on this day in 1981, site work begins on Horizons in Epcot,
Ooh.
just still over a year from opening at this point. Meaning in 1981, like Epcot obviously is open. And on this day in 2010 is the grand opening of Via Napoli in Epcot's Italy Pavilion, and it's managed by the Patina Group. I have not been to Via Napoli that I know of. Gonna do a pause here so my mom can be like, "Oh yeah, no, we've been," but I don't think we've been, if I remember correctly.
I don't. I'm sure I've had pizza there at some point, but not in like recent history.
Not that I remember. Okay,
Yeah, that's always when my mom jumps in as well. And she's like, absolutely, we did. And then I'm going to get a completely out of context text from her.
you should just put up in a group chat like our both our moms. Like, yes, you totally did that. We're like, oh no, mea culpa. Oopsies. All right, I'm ready for our main topic.
Let's get into it. I'm stoked. So we have like, I mean, if you've listened to any of our event guides before, we fully admit that there's like not a lot of variation, at least on the East Coast. They're pretty similar each time because there's not a lot of variety in like the transportation stays the same, and obviously it's always useful to everyone, but when we were going through putting this together, it was kind of funny noticing like the differences between each one. So we hope you'll have a good time listening if you've never been to the West Coast, hearing like what's different.
Yeah. Oh no, there's not this. Like it's kind of funny. Uh, but one thing that is similar is the commitment to charity. So our featured charity is Girls Incorporated of Orange County, which the mission statement is about advancing equity and opportunities of girls and young women to reduce the barriers that they face and to challenge the systems that impede their successes. So I had never heard of that charity before, so I enjoyed kind of getting to look into it a little bit. Expo hours. This was like a variation, everybody. Um, but on Thursday, September 4th, it's going to run from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Friday, September 5th, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And on Saturday, September 6th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the expo occurs at the Disneyland Hotel. There's a good amount of signage that helps direct you as to where you are going within the Disneyland Hotel. One thing that I don't have on our outline right now is the Club Run Disney shopping hours. So if you are a platinum member and you got an email about this, your early shopping begins at 7 a.m. If you are a gold member, your early shopping begins at 7:45 a.m. So nice early
I was
morning.
like, that feels early. That's earlier than East Coast, right?
It is earlier than the East Coast. I believe even with the extended shopping window, for springtime this year, because it all comes down to the Brooks shoes. That's
Uh-huh.
why it has extended as much as it has. But your shopping window goes until 9 a.m. for both your gold and platinum members, and then you can continue shopping till 9:30, but you have to get to the checkout at that point in time. So yeah, that is early. I won't be there yet, so anyway, your expo check-in pass will be available on Monday, September the 1st. You have to bring your printed or digital check-in pass along with a valid photo ID to get the bib. Make sure you've signed your waiver in your account. Otherwise, you're going to have to fill out a paper one at the expo. Very sad. Not really. It's really not that big of a deal because I know our international friends cannot do anything about that. So it's really a pretty quick and easy process to go ahead and get that. virtual queue.
Get ready. We did cover this in the last springtime as well because it had been a hot minute since we haven't had a VQ on the East Coast in a while. So tell us, Natalie, is there anything different? Has anything changed?
So
What about the noobs?
talk about some early hours, man. Um, 7 a.m. is when the virtual queue will open on September 4th. And you're going to go into your Disneyland app. I wanted to call it the My Disney Experience app. But the Disneyland app, it is, if you're completely new to Disneyland, it is a separate app from Walt Disney
hmm
World.
They do look almost identical, though, if you put the two apps right next to each other on your phone.
I have to keep them separate.
My mom had them next to her, like next to each other on her phone when I was helping them plan for marathon weekend this past year, and I was so confused.
Yeah, they look extremely similar. It was the 50th version of the app for Walt Disney World, that was so helpful because the 50 and versus
hmm
the Disneyland, they were really different.
Oh, they should put the 70 on the Disneyland so we have another indicator.
I mean, there's a pretty good chance I haven't updated this in like a hot minute, and I'm the problem here. But um, maybe not. But
That
you,
won't affect your virtual queue experience. You still just have to get into the app.
yes, you'll get into the app. There's a tab that'll be labeled special events. You'll select the Run Disney merchandise shop, and or the Brooks retail location, and tap join virtual queue.
So are they doing two queues then? One for shoes and one for merch?
Yes.
Wow. Do you think this is a test? We always say that Disneyland is like the testing ground for the season of like they do wild things, they try stuff out there, and if it fails miserably, then like they don't use it, but if it works, then they bring it forward. They did that with the corrals last season.
This is cray. Ooh, which would you pick if you had to pick? Like, oh well, okay. You can.
Probably merch because I don't really wear Brooks shoes anymore, but
Fair. Oh yeah, yeah. No, same. So that's kind of wild. I think you can. You can. It looks like it's not like you can't hold two at the same time. It seems. It seems like if you'd like, or what the website says is that if you would like to join for both the Run Disney merchandise shop and the Brooks retail location, you will need to join one virtual queue and then start back at step one to join the other virtual queue. So it
so you still
seems,
have to prioritize though.
yes, but that makes sense. Like, because I was like, wow, that would kind of stink if you had to wait for yours to get called and then you could join the other, considering
Mhm.
they're going to be near each other, and like you
Mhm.
then have to come back to the expo, which I do anyway. But
And hopefully they're flexible on return times a little bit cuz what if you get like super lucky, I guess. Theoretically, right? Because you could have like if you have two people in your party, one person could be entering the queue for
oh,
you and your them and then you could be entering the other queue at the same time. So if you got very similar return times, then you could be in a bit of a pickle.
true. Looks like you have
I've
1.5 hours to get to the location after you've been notified.
Okay, well then you should be fine.
Yeah, if you
They've always been pretty lenient. I mean, granted, I've only had to do it one time, but like I've always found them to be pretty lenient as long as you're, you know, a nice human being.
true. It says that you can join the virtual queue approximately 90 miles away from the Disneyland resort.
Ooh. Do
I
you think
don't
that's a traffic thing? That's further than we get. Don't we get like 50 or something? Or
40, I think.
45?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how far away LAX is, but I'm assuming it's closer. Oh no,
Mm,
it's got to be closer than that because it's about an hour, like on a good day, or less than on a more on a bad day. But I think that's so probably when you touch down at LAX, if I had to, when you hop off the plane at LAX,
Hop
depend.
off the plane at LAX. We're going to have to not include that. We're going to get a copyright strike. Boo, boo,
Yay!
boo, da, boo.
It's okay. Just put it over Bruno Mars song, and then they won't take down your reel. Um, Just one thing to note is that one QR code will be sent for your entire party that's enrolled in the virtual queue. It's just for day one um, of the race of the expo. It says implemented as needed on following expo days. I don't know if I could see that happening, but it says you may hold boarding groups for both an attraction virtual queue and a virtual queue for other applicable experiences. So it looks, yeah, you can have multiple at once. But I'm actually glad that I went back to click on this to clarify because that would have been where the Brooks shoes are going to be. There is a map in the event guide.
Which you obviously can't see while listening to this. So,
So, um, there is a little map. It's in the Lilo South parking lot. So I hope that means something to you. But it's it's like if you go north, it's the Mickey and Friends and Pixar Pals parking structures. And then it looks like it's going to be pretty well laid out. It's near the Fantasy parking lot as well. Um, my first and only times I've been to the Disneyland Hotel were for Disneyland Half Marathon weekend in 2024. So not quite as familiar with the lay of the land here. So this will be exciting. I will.
doesn't quite strike the same chord as a Gamora area, does
Oh,
it?
true, true. Eve. Oh, let's go. Uh, another note about the expo is that there is a Hulu on Disney Plus Lounge.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Is this like a bonus? Oh, yeah. If you're a subscriber, snazzy.
yeah. If you are a
Dang, I
subscriber,
should go because I am a subscriber.
you can get a limited edition Dole Whip for purchase, and there's a photo booth, and then like Halloween favorites, which is so cute and fun.
Is Halloween favorites food or like characters or
I assumed
is
that
it
it
a
was
mystery?
TV, like they were going to just play different like
Oh.
shorts, but I don't
So,
know.
oh, I was going to say, does that mean I can watch Halloween Town while eating a special edition Dole Whip?
Dude, don't threaten me with a good time. That sounds fun.
Post race,
We'll be.
bring the boots in your gear check.
Wait, that sounds like A plus primo. Good, good times, good vibes. Um, just one note about the Brooks shop is that you'll have the opportunity to try on your Brooks running shoe models that they'll have. They'll be in the generic non-run Disney theme designs. So, and then you'll go into a separate area to go get like your shoes. The trial's not mandatory, but you will have to go talk to them to like get like your shoe size and stuff. Um, you can only use credit and debit card payments. Can't use Disney gift cards, cash, magic bands. No merchandise mobile checkout just for the Brooks shoes. No discounts. Wah, wah. And then returns and exchanges for the shoes won't be processed during the first day of the expo and will be subject to availability starting day 2. So
Hmm.
I think that they do what they can to control like the reseller nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, like I just got done saying that I don't really wear Brooks shoes anymore. But I do think I'd be down for a pair as like a walking pair of shoes. I definitely can't run in them, but like I love Halloween. Halloween all year long if I could. I also love Christmas though, so like we'd have to figure that out. Anywho, I would be down. I hope they make it like out of the market and get put up online so I can get a pair like they did for springtime. I also hope they release new models this
Mm-hmm.
time.
That is the big question out there is that what are they going to do about models? I'm lucky that I run in adrenalines anyway, but I know there are glycerin girlies who are like, yo, where are my shoes at? And the Ghost Max 2s are what most of the shoes are. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
if
Wild that they don't do a regular ghost because I think that's like their maybe their best selling shoe.
I don't know. I'm
I
curious.
don't know. I want the stats. Brooks, hit me up.
Yeah, hit a
I'll
girly.
sign an NDA. Just let me see the data.
I need it. I need it. One note is that you must pick your bib up the day before your race, and you cannot pick up someone else's bib unless they are a minor. Also, your parking situation for the expo is going to be at the Pixar Pals parking structure via the entrance on Magic Way. If you show your check-in pass, you get $10 parking at this location only. Otherwise, regular parking rates apply.
Cool.
Your parking structures open on Thursday at 6 a.m. That's when the expo opens at 10. Friday at 8 a.m. when the expo opens at noon, and Saturday at 8 a.m. when the expo opens at 10. Would you like to talk about some yoga?
Sure. So for yoga, we've got the Mickey and Friends parking lot is opening at 3 a.m. Your check-in location is the main entrance plaza at ticket booth number 5. Really hope that means something to you. That will be open from 3:45 to 4:45 a.m. You will need to check in with your check-in pass and a valid ID. Security opens at 3:30, so you'll be able to get going through that. I assume security, then check-in.
Yeah,
Sounds like it makes sense. You will be provided a mat, a carrying strap, and water bottle. If anyone doesn't love their mat, I would be interested. Hit me up. Yoga itself starts at 5 a.m. and it goes until 6. What is Queen of Hearts Bend and Shuffle?
that's the icon for it, which I don't know if the movie
Oh,
had like a theme of sorts for.
yeah, I didn't either.
It's a cute little, like the little cards are like bending, and she's like
Aw.
lording over them. Bend and snap, bend and snap.
Except it's Bend and Shuffle because they're cards.
True. Yeah, you don't want them to snap.
Yeah. That's really funny. Oh, but that makes me wish like they don't really do like yoga merch, really. At least not that I've noticed. And that would be really cute as like a pin
That would be.
or on a shirt or something. Like I just feel like it's a missed opportunity.
If anything, they'll do like one shirt. So maybe. Okay, want to know what's weird?
Because
That
they don't include a shirt with yoga like they do with all
correct.
the races. Maybe more people would sign up for yoga if they did that.
That is true. One thing is they still had pre-order open for me when I registered.
For Halloween?
Yes.
Interesting.
I mean, I've obviously flew past it because I had things to do. And
It must be closing soon though,
yes.
because usually like the 30 usually the 30-day mark is pretty close to when they shut that down.
Yeah.
Because they definitely have to have at least their like flex like numbers in,
Hmm.
maybe, but they'll probably have to finalize their printing numbers with whoever's, doing that for stuff
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. I'll have to go back and look and see what was available that I like, would buy so
Yeah,
fast. I think the Loungefly was one of the things I scrolled past, but that's a I'll look into it.
cool. For photos, you've got there's one photo pass ID per participant, so that's included with your registration. This is something that is again different with Disneyland versus Disney World. They include that in the price of your registration, and that's why you'll see a slight difference in the cost of
Mhm.
said registration. Um, and it will be on your check-in pass, so you should be able to find it. That's the same for Disney World now that they've gone to like the unique identifiers that they put it in with your check-in pass, and you can usually find it in your like Run Disney account once that all goes live.
Yup.
We have I know you're expecting me to say 3 courses, but technically there's 4 because we also have kids races.
Woo!
So we've got the normal 5K, 10K, and half. I don't actually know if they give details of what like the course is for the kids race since it's on 10K day, but do they?
They do.
Ooh.
Kind of. Um, so with the kids race, it's in the parking lot where like the other races start, but
Mhm.
it'll be pretty well marked
Marked.
off.
Yeah.
The event entry, so there's two ways usually that you can get into the reunion lot, and only the way that's the northbound way, so not the southbound way, is available.
Hmm.
I'm like, the way I usually go is not going to be available. Not that I have a child to go to the kids race for, um, but there's a little like kind of looped area, and they have little activity areas where I guess we can just kind of get into the kids race at this point. Um, the kids activity zone will open at 8 a.m. for registered children and their families to enjoy the activity. Um, Depends on what time, how old you're, what race you're doing for when you have to be at different areas. So we have start groups for this in a way. If you're 1 to 3 years old, you about 8:45 a.m. at the 100-meter zone. 4 to 6 year olds have to be in place at 9:05 a.m. at the 200-meter zone. 7 to 9 year
Mm.
olds will have to be in place at 9:20 a.m. at the 300-meter zone. And if you are doing the diaper dash, if you're 12 months and under, wow, can't believe you're listening to this podcast. But you have to be
Maybe their parents are listening.
you have to be in place at 10 a.m. at the diaper dash zone. I would like to interview a diaper dasher personally, but like, or like
Goo
a
goo
former
gaga.
former diaper dasher, like where are they now? Like diaper dash to dopey. Whoa, that'd be so cool.
That is theoretic. Well, when did they have kids race? When did they first? We're gonna do some research. I think
Yeah,
it's possible,
yeah,
actually.
it's possible, or like will be possible in the next couple of years. So like we'll get a diaper dash
So
to
this is
dopey.
on the books. If you are that person or intend on being that person, please reach out.
Getting your uh getting your DeLorean, and I just call it a Mandalorian because of Jack from Rise and Run, and like, and now like I'm like, oh, it's not a DeLorean, it's a Mandalorian. Um, but you will have to get your bib at packet pickup, um,
Is it the morning of?
at
Or
the
is it?
expo.
Oh, interesting.
So you should wear your race bib on your shirt.
Yes.
As or if you're a baby and you're doing the diaper dash, you can put it on your back. Uh, I'd really like to talk to one of these babies. Um, each race bib will have a kind of a parent claim process. So you'll have a tear off tag with your child's race number on it. Um, you have to kind of get that off of there, and while the participant's racing, and then the parent claim tag will be matched with the race bib so that the correct baby goes to the correct parent
That's
uh,
insane.
at the end of the day. I think
That's insane. Do they let parents do they say whether they let parents accompany their children, like especially for that like 1 to 3 age category? What how does a 1-year-old like know what to do? At least at Peachtree, they let the parents accompany their kids all the way up until like 6 years old.
I don't know. It's like a little loopy in the parking lot though. I would have to ask somebody who's like witnessed this before. It's like a little tiny loop type of thing. I I don't know. I feel like if they're that small, like it's probably, but also I feel like if for like the 4 to 6 year olds, like it probably gives them something to do to like, I have to give ticket. Like I'm holding
Yeah.
ticket. I have to like give
No,
them
I
something to
mean,
do.
yeah, kids that are like right on the brink of or in kindergarten, like they can do that. I just think it's wild the idea of like a 1 or 2-year-old being dropped off in a sea of other 1-year-olds left to kind of listen to the directions of a stranger. Not they're not going very far, but like still.
It probably is like with your parent if I had to guess, but
Yeah. Oh,
again,
so much to find out.
Former diaper dash participants, please lock in and tell us if you remember. But very exciting. The I saw so many last time I did Disneyland. There's so many kids in their little cute shirts too. It was like because they do have their
Aw.
shirt included. Very very cute event, and then the cute little medal.
All right. Now, if you aren't a diaper dasher and you're participating in one of the adult races. We've got the 5K. You have one water stop. It is backstage behind Adventureland. The Mickey and Friends parking lot will open at 3 a.m. and then security starts at 3:30 a.m. And then 4 a.m. is when the staging area and corrals will open. The start is near the castle at Disneyland and it ends on Pixar Pier. The race starts at 5 a.m. and the start line will close at 5:15 a.m., which is bonkers. That is so tight.
It says it closes at 5:15 a.m., but I guess I was in Corral A when I did the 5K in 24, so, like, really didn't have a lot, to say about, like,
Yeah.
I was, like, the 5 a.m. start. But they can't really get everybody because they usually have 4 big corral well, in the past, I should say, they had an A, B, C, and D, and they do about 5 minutes in between out at Disneyland,
Mhm.
so can they really get everybody out that fast? No, but I wonder if it's kind of like a dilly dally type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everything at Disneyland kind of happens on a much more compressed time scale. If you've noticed, we haven't mentioned transportation really much because there really isn't like course like, you don't go from the hotel to the course. You don't I mean, you can, like you can very much stay on property and like but you just walk.
Yes,
You can't. There's no bus
there
situation.
is from the Disney resorts,
But like
but for the
it's
most part, it's not like
unnecessary.
Disneyland. It's not. Yeah, it's not like Walt Disney World.
Yeah, it's not like Walt Disney World where you don't have an option, like, you cannot walk to the start line, and it's going to take some time. The the timeline is much more compressed.
Yes, that
For
is
the
true.
10K, you'll have 3 water stops.
Oh, do you want to
They
talk about the course itself for a sec?
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
yes.
um, but you start near the castle, you run right past the Matterhorn, get the little backstage. It's a pretty awesome, like 3 mile loop around the Disney parks. You do get to run through the castle on this one, mucho exciting, and you run around through Liberty Square, head on over to California Adventure. You do get to run through Adventures Campus and make your loop onto Pixar Pier, and then end your race there. But it's a pretty awesome course. Highly
Mhm.
recommend. It's probably one of the best 5K courses. And now I have like a little FOMO for this, but like I can't. I literally can't.
Yeah.
Which I
I
know I said
mean,
before.
for sure, obviously we know the races are going away, but when they come back, if you're looking for a race where you get to run through the castle, but you're not ready yet for a half marathon for whatever reason, this is where it's at for you.
Now on to
Oh,
the 10K.
okay. Okay, so for the 10K, you have 3 water stops, one behind Radiator Springs, one on Main Street just before mile 3, and one behind Galaxy's Edge. There will be 2 medical stops, one again just before mile 3, so right by that water stop location, and one right before mile 5. The Toy Story lot opens at 3 a.m. Security again opens at 3:30. This is the same as the family reunion area since the kids race is happening same day, and the corrals will also open at this time. The race itself starts at 5 a.m. and the start line will apparently close at 5:30.
One thing to note is that this does start on Disney Way, so it starts out in a parking lot. And again, when we talk about like ideal Disney courses, this is even better, I'd say, than the 5K course.
Mhm.
For the Halloween 10K, it's you go into California Adventure first. So your first mile is mostly outside of the parks. Then you get backstage, you find your first water stop, and then you go right into Radiator Springs. It's awesome. Um, and then you go around to Pixar Pier, make a nice loop around there, make a loop around I wanted to just say like Little California, but I know that's not what it's actually called. uh,
The
I think
Grand Californian? Is
near
that
the
what you
Grand
mean?
Californian, but I think it's Redwood. It's near the Redwood Trails, and I actually don't know what that area is actually called. But near where Soren is, then you loop your way around to Avengers Campus. Every course goes through Avengers Campus, and then you head on over to Disneyland by mile 3. You go across the Esplanade, and you run down Main Street. Ah,
Mhm.
you do take a left after there. So I guess Walt Disney World has just been copying Disneyland in this past year of like you take the left off of Main Street. You go through toward Critter Country, then it's a little bit of backstage area into Galaxy's Edge. Then you come back around. You do not run through the castle in this event. Then you go to Tomorrowland, and then you blip back into Fantasyland. Again, this is such an ideal course. You get into Toontown. Uh, it's just nonstop bangers of different park things. It's like pretty incredible how much uh, we get there, go through the parks during the 10K. It's again, this is an amazing course.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't have FOMO for not doing it. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Um,
Well, let's hear about the race that you are going to run, Natalie. The half.
yay!
You will have 9 water and Powerade stops, 1 food stop, 4 medical stops. The race starts at 5 a.m. And again, supposedly they're going to get us all out in 45. That one is more believable to me because, like, that's we go at Disney World anywhere from like the 45 to like an hour range of getting everyone out. So that one is more believable for me than the 5K.
They got the full out in 23 and 45 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah, because that was
Wow.
it was yellow flagged, so that's why they got us out
Yeah,
in
well,
45 minutes.
people they have a little fire under their booties to get going.
Yes.
So, yeah, the park miles are over by around the 5.5 mile mark. It is an out and back, and I'll just let you tell them about the weather contingencies and the lack of stadium running.
Yes. So, if you were missing the Anaheim parking lot, I guess, or Angels parking lot, I guess I have good news for you. But when you exit, you run toward in like the direction of Angel Stadium, but you don't run to and even near Angel Stadium. There, the A's are or the Angels are home that weekend. So, um, it's pretty like from mile 7 on. It pretty much like if they needed to lop off all that time, all of that, because last year there was this pretty severe heat index. So there is a really easy way for them to lop that off, even if
Mhm.
it's not necessarily at mile 7 or mile 8, but they can, if they need to shorten the course for weather related reason, there's a bunch of different places that they can do that, which I think it's a good, again, it's a really good contingency to have in place, especially with kind of everything that occurred last year during it.
Mhm.
Um, this one, you do get to run through the castle for the half, which is exciting, around mile 5. So you're like final miles in the park. But again, you start out in the parking lot and you go along Catella. I'll be like waving to my hotel um, from there into Radiator Springs first, and then around Pixar Pier. It seems like for everybody who may be triggered by the idea of a mile 3 water stop situation, no, the water stops are very far apart. There was a complete stop on the course when back in 24, but they learned from that. One thing I didn't not notice, but I didn't mention is security and how security is different out of Disneyland if you're a Walt Disney World
Mhm.
regular. So you know how they have these really nice things where you just walk your way through security, and then if
You
you
mean where they
ding,
yell at us to be in a single line?
yes, that too. Um, where if you ding, you have to get looked your stuff looked through. But otherwise, if you have your stuff all out, like pretty much you just walk through. That is not how security works at Disneyland. It's more of the old school style. So you give your bag to the security person, you make sure that you don't have any metal on you, and then you walk through there. So it is a little slower. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially for race related things. I do think that they learned from that since that first race back, but I had to get like my vest checked, my belt checked, and then my bra kept setting it off because there's metal in the hooks in my bra. So like I had to get wanded down too. I think by half marathon day that they also did that. But if you are used to the way that Run Disney works on the East Coast, just budget a little bit of extra time for that. Some advice I'd give, frankly, is when you are, or I guess just in general, is that at Disneyland, when you are off Disney property on the highways and such, you are not, you're not on Disney property, so you're not going to see Mickey at like the McDonald's corner. Okay. So your
Mm-hmm.
characters and stuff will all be condensed to your park mileage. They will bring, Mickey out for like the start line, but so we don't have character photos in the parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get there as early. Like get there with enough time to get into your corral and settle in, but in terms of like, yes, there's a DJ, yes, there's some photo ops and such. You don't have to get there quite as early for the races because there's a little less to do. Yeah, there. And the way Disneyland usually works is that all your corrals go out at once. So all of A will go at once and then they'll wait about 5 minutes, then send all of B. So in terms of like trying to scooch up in your corral and like get like, oh, another wave ahead, doesn't really work that way. Yes, you might get those a couple minutes or like a minute or so, but it's not the same way. So my unsolicited advice, take the sleep. But it's really really fun. It's especially if you're not really used to road racing, where I don't do a lot of road racing. Most of my roads are the highways around Walt Disney World. So
Mm-hmm.
having people out, having the 501st Legion, having just people who come and cheer, and just the city of or Anaheim kind of comes alive. It's pretty cool. So I know a lot of people look at all that non-park mileage and go, ugh, but I think it's pretty fun. It's pretty awesome. And it's, I don't know, it's exciting. It's really flat too.
Any and all park mileage is a gift because otherwise it's just any other road race.
True that. True that. But parking wise, your standard parking rates apply for the races, a yoga and 5K. It'll be at the Mickey and Friends parking structure. For the 10K kids races and half marathon, it's at the Toy Story parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at a Disneyland Resort hotel, there is a shuttle that'll run from 3:15 in the morning till 10:30 in the morning on September 6th and 7th. So you'll have to show your room key. That'll be marked and for Run Disney athletes and spectators. So it'll go from Disneyland Hotel to the Grand Californian. I guess Pixar Place can just not. No, you probably will just be directed to do that. Uh, but and then to the East Shuttle area between the theme parks near Harbor Boulevard, so somewhere where the normal bus drop off is.
Mm-hmm.
Can do rideshare as well. Something that's a little different about Disneyland, if we haven't kind of picked up on that, is we don't have the projected start times that we are used to, except for the kids races. So Diaper Dash Kings and Queens, and, but yeah, that was a little like I was like, where's my graphic that I like so I can like predict what my POT corrals are.
It's just be ready at 5. Be ready because the window is narrow.
That is so true. The whole reason for the season here for me is coast to coast. So
Whew. I'm jealous. That model is cute.
I know that's what really kind of got me. That and like also getting an Aurora and a Maleficent medal in like the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. But it'll be on your check-in pass if you are eligible. You have to get your wristband at the expo. Don't let it cut off your circulation, so don't let them tie it on too tight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've noticed, and a lot of people have noticed, that you kind of have to remind them that, hey, like I am coast to coast eligible to get your wristband.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so You will get your medal after the second race. So if you are doing Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon and then Wine and Dine this year, it will not say coast to coast eligible on your check-in pass. So say this is how you're qualifying. It's after your second race. So I've done a lot of qualifying, well, the 0 races this year. It will say on mine that I am coast to coast eligible. It better say on mine that I'm coast to coast eligible. But we're gonna have a conversation. But it'll say it on mine. But if this is your first of the 2 races to qualify, it will not say it on yours. So try not to. Don't freak out if it doesn't. In that way. Also, I would say that, and this probably has improved since 2024, but it wasn't super well marked where you went for your coast to coast medal when I did it the first time because I was almost out of the area, the shoot, and I was like, I haven't gotten my medal, my coast to coast medal yet. And somebody, a cast member, walked me back to where I was supposed to go. Then they cut my wristband off. But
hot tip, flex your hand, like make a fist when they put it on. It'll help give you a little extra wiggle room when they put it on.
yes.
Also, you not that you should be running with a super intense fist, because hopefully you're more relaxed than that, but at least that gives any tension. Yeah, you're giving yourself a little extra room.
Yes.
All right. Race day gear info. If you are looking for gear check, it is available for all races in the reunion area. You'll get a clear bag at the expo. There's usually extras. This is just like East Coast, not really all that different. If you forget your gear check, they will go to the Disneyland guest relations just outside of the park entrance. If you lose something that is not clothing, it will also go to that same place. That is where Lost and Found is located. If you lose clothes, I will reiterate this, you will not get them back. They will be donated. So just be aware. If you are looking to spectate any of the races, you actually theoretically have a lot more opportunities at a Disneyland race than you do at Disney World, because it's I don't know, kind of dangerous to stand on the side of the highway.
Yeah, the
So,
cops don't like that there.
yeah, no, not a fan. But because these are what I call street level roads, they have may or may not have a sidewalk, whatever. You will have more opportunities. So for the 5K, from 4:30 to 6:15, the finish line is at Pixar Pier, so I guess you can go there. You can enter through the gate near World of Disney in downtown Disney if you would like to spectate there.
I had a spectator.
Yeah.
It was a friend of the pod, Jamie, happened to be in Southern California when I went for Disneyland last time. And he has been to Disneyland once in several years ago. He said it was very easy to follow the directions of everything was laid out very well for him,
Oh,
going from Mickey and Friends to the finish line spectating area.
snaps for Disney.
Yes. So it's pretty easy to follow, according to him. And then we took the tram back to his car. But yeah, he
Awesome.
was he happened to be in SoCal at the same time, which is wild.
Love that. For the 10K, there's spectating located at Harbor Boulevard and Catella, as well as the family reunion area, which this is pretty standard. You can view a lot of stuff from the family reunion area at most races. For the half, it is located in the same spots at the around Harbor Boulevard and Catella, as well as the family reunion area. There will be, as you know, Jamie says, it's apparently quite easy. So know your athlete's pace, make a rough guess, be conservative, and be where you want to be to see them and cheer them on. Let them know how proud you are of their amazing accomplishment. Now, this is my favorite part of every event guide we do. This is race etiquette. There's actually no official race etiquette listed for this race. So we basically took the race etiquette from Disney World because, let's be honest, where you run doesn't really change the etiquette unless you're running maybe in like the UK or somewhere where they drive on the other side of the road. Maybe you need to like have walking on the other side versus running. Maybe that's flip-flopped, I don't know. But this is all inside the boundaries of the United States of America, so it's basically the same. So, rule number 1, do not be a ding dong. This is the nice way of saying it so that we don't get any strikes. Don't be a ding dong. Rule number 2, please pay attention to pre-race instructions, both digital and verbal. What you read and hear will not only help guide you through the race course, but also keep you safe. And I would like to emphasize that really this is even more important for Disneyland than it is for Disney World, because theoretically the access that like random people have to the course is much more accessible. That's a terrible statement, but it's like much easier for anyone to be on the race course. It is much more exposed versus like the highways are like fully blocked off. It would be very difficult for someone to get onto the course in that way versus Disneyland. So just like anytime you go running, even though there's a lot of people and stuff, have your wits about you and listen to the directions. Rule number 3, please enter your correct start group. This will ensure that you are running with people who have a similar pace to you. Rule number 4, run or walk no more than 2 abreast. Other athletes will want to get by you. If you are in a walking group, please start at the end with the last group. If you want to run with a friend and they are in a different corral than you, the faster of the 2 will need to drop back. You cannot skip forward to be with your fast friend, unfortunately. I wish, or I would skip forward to Natalie's corral every time. I've already lost track of them. So into it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rule number 5. If you want, nope, I already did rule number 5. Rule number 6.
That's what happens when we record the night before. We're working so hard.
If you're stopping at a water station, move all the way over to the table, grab the water, and then get out of Dodge. Move away from the table so others can get water and keep moving. Also, don't just stop at the beginning and like form a line behind the first person and the first water cup person you see. Generally, there are multiple tables in a row, so try and keep moving as to not cause a traffic jam. Rule number 7, move to the side if someone behind you says, "Excuse me," or "coming through," or literally anything to that effect.
See, Hannah's cat did not say "excuse me" or "coming
No,
through."
and she just scared the bejesus out of me.
See, don't do that to somebody.
That's rude. Rude, Sushi. How perfect.
It's like she planned it. She's been waiting. She was in bread loaf mode, and then she's like, "No, it's my time."
Rule number 8. When you are approaching the finish line, you may see loved ones cheering for you. Do not encourage anyone to join you in the finish line stretch, or literally anywhere on course, to be fair. Your support team is very important, but please communicate that the race course and finish areas are only for registered participants and staff. This is for everybody's safety. Trust me, you will have plenty of time to celebrate with them. And then I would like to reiterate the first rule: don't be a ding dong. Thank you for listening.
Yes. There will be some food trucks available in the family reunion area for participants and spectators willing to purchase food or beverage. That's exciting because that was not the case in 24. I believe
They're learning.
Last year for a Halloween half marathon weekend, I remember Amanda, Travis, and Heidi had mentioned that they had a lot more in the area, so that's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
One more note that kind of just popped into my head about differences with Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Photos at Disneyland expire more quickly. So about 45 days, I believe. So keep in mind, I will probably still bark at you what like your like download your photo pass. But they do expire more quickly than they do at Walt Disney World. So
Stay on top of that. Yeah, you don't want to lose out, especially since you didn't have to pay extra. Theoretically, you didn't have to do a separate purchase. You did pay extra.
Lightning Lane Multi-Pass does include photo pass with it for your park days as well, too. So
Exciting.
it is. I think that's about all I have about the Halloween Half Marathon.
Mm-hmm. If there's something that you think we missed and you want to let us know, please let us
If
know.
you are a Diaper Dash former participant, please let me know.
She's never going to let go of this. So, yeah, please let us know.
No, it's going to be like 4 years from now and be like, I still need a diaper dash. That's going to be my like white whale. That's going to be
literally a white whale because it's going to be a wet white diaper.
True. But yes, I need oxygen. Do I need the Diaper Dash to Dopey story from somebody? I will be here to cover it in a couple years. Or now, I don't know. I'd have to look into the history of the Walt Disney World kids races. So
we'll give you an update next week. So come back.
That's a hook.
If you enjoy listening to our show, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We love reading your reviews out loud, and you might even be featured on a future podcast episode. We have a community spotlight on our Instagram at Stride Sisters Podcast. If you want to be featured for a Medal Monday, Finish Line Friday, or any accomplishment you want to celebrate, send us a picture via our social media platforms or our email. And to continue the fun, join us on our Facebook page. All the ways to connect with us can be found in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time. My nose is running. Why is my nose running?
Because we do a lot of running. Secret sound.
We should submit that to Disney because they give those terrible dad jokes on the in-room like My Disney thing.
Yes.
Why is my nose running? Because we do a lot of running.
Oh no, you better go catch it.
Save that for Run Disney weekends, and they put it on everyone's wake-up call.
True. That's inspired. Like a Monsters Inc. Matt laugh floor like moment.